Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It's the 31st of March, 12:30 Southern African time, and my name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. Too much? Check this little guy here at Elephant Pan in Botswana, having an absolute blast. Oh, we've got, look at, right in the middle there. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, we are live and interactive. Send your questions to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code on your screens. I think my favourite part of the show is getting all your questions. If you want to join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth, or again, you can scan the QR code. We look forward to getting through as many of your questions as we can over the next couple of hours. You are all very, very welcome. Josh Drown, good morning everyone. Good morning, Josh. I often say good morning, good afternoon or good evening. The joys of modern technology allows us to do this across the globe. Deb Davis, hi. How's it going, Deb? Lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining. I was thinking earlier about what my highlight was from yesterday, and I think my favourite part was there was a snoozing Dussie at Stony Point, and then another Dussie joined the screen and went to give snoozing Dussie a little bit of a cuddle, and the first Dussie went no and got up and ran away. That made me laugh. It's so nice to be able to watch all these animals uninterrupted though, just watching them going about their daily lives. Joanne Mello, hello Joanne. Good Monday indeed. Interesting to see how these elephants often come and drink at this little concrete bit. Not all turbid from elephant footprints and poops. And then we've got a chappie there in the middle, just vibing out there on his own. Now I had a long discussion yesterday. I'm sure it was here. These elephants looked like they were digging or picking up seeds or something from under the water, and that that little one is flat. I love it when they put their faces right in there. Gillian Van Fake, beautiful, peaceful scene. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Some of the microphones on these cameras are super sensitive, and I love listening to all the splishing and splashing noises that these elephants make. Jive Bunny, greetings. Kelly from the UK, greetings. Please say hello to my motherland for me. You're asking, is this place in Botswana near a national park? It's actually in a reserve called Kwai Private Reserve, KHWAI, which is in the Okavango Delta, which is a beautiful area of Botswana covering a massive distance. And this elephant pan where this camera is in a private reserve. So yes, it is in a it's in a protected area. Mo, good morning from Germany. Good morning, Mo. Thank you so much for joining us. Aria, pool party is always a good start. Absolutely agree. Agnes Gringo, it's shower time. Shower, bath, shower. However you want to look at it. But yes, all these elephants are having an absolute blast in this nice cool water. Rudy, please tell me something about the northern white rhino. Believe they were almost extinct. Rudy, you are completely correct. I actually went to a talk about, it was actually about black rhino and speciation and species diversity and demographics and that sort of thing on Tuesday last week, and someone did mention the northern white rhino, and basically it was a PhD doctor in genetics who was giving the talk, so they knew what they were talking about, and he basically said that the northern white rhino is no more. There was I believe a male who died. There was 2 females. Both of the females are now past reproductive age, so that northern white rhino is finished. It's desperately sad. People I do often see on social media, people get a little bit confused about the fact that it's technically a subspecies of the white rhino, like northern and southern. Obviously we've still got good numbers left of white rhino, although we do need to keep a careful eye on them. But Rudy, the northern white rhino is no longer around, unfortunately. I have read things about insemination and attempts at different things on the internet, but on Tuesday, a very educated doctor of science, his statement was that the northern white rhino is no longer. So I'm using that information. It's a shame. It's very, very sad. Due to amazing conservation efforts though, the southern white rhino, who we see often on these cameras, good numbers. Numbers are being monitored and managed carefully. So hopefully that's not going to be the fate of the southern white rhino. Ah, look at these 2 touching trunks. This is actually quite a nice image. Now that back one started drinking and you can't see it as nicely. Ah, no, come on, get that out of there. To me, if I had to guess, I would say that the behind one of these elephants is a female, and the one closer to us is possibly a young male. And I'm going on head shape. This female's head is quite angular, although I'm now doubting myself looking at that male. Squarer, and to me it looks like the one closest to us is more rounded. But it can often be, look at, it's got a foot up there on the concrete. It's often quite orderly at these pans. I like it. I like a bit of order. and individuals will make space, step aside, often very polite. See, look, this elephant's also got its foot up there. What is this, I wonder? That first elephant and now this one has also lifted its foot up on the edge of that concrete. Anyone watching who's got any theories as to why this might be, please do send them through. I'm looking at, and it was the same foot. Was it the same foot for both elephants? So if you've got a theory, send your theory through to wildearth.tv/questions or scan the QR code. But both of these elephants in quick succession have both rested their foot on that concrete. Send it through using #WildEarth on X or scan the QR code. Possible shout for it might be cool. If you've got any ideas, send through your ideas and comments on WhatsApp at +277 630 2336. The numbers on your screen. And see, these are the things I enjoy now. Why is this? It's becoming increasingly less important to me as to how old this elephant is. But why? Why is this elephant doing this? Maybe it's got something to do with it's not as much effort to, I suppose it's not bending, is it? How they say often people suggest you give dogs water and food in a slightly raised bowl to alleviate some of the sort of bending body pressure. Maybe it's got something to do with that. UK_David, same as they do in bars with a brass footrail, comfortable to relax. That's all I can think of. It's just a more comfortable body posture. It might lift, make it easier to drink. I don't know. I've never seen it before, and I've never thought about it either. Drive bunny cute when they rest their foot. Sensitive feet? I don't know. Possibly. Maybe they've got sensitive feet. Lady Macbeth, various reasons for the foot action. Context is all. It absolutely is. I agree, Lady Macbeth. That leg up at the well fascinates me as well. Helga Brandt. I wonder if it alleviates some pressure on the throat or the esophagus where they're swallowing water. I've got no clue. Beautiful footage, love it, from Kambulani Sele, South Africa. Thank you. This is it's nothing to do with me. This is all cameras, all zoomies. Old punkster. Is it like when we lean on something to just relax part of the body? Old punkster, this is probably the route I'm thinking. It's just comfortable. I'm going to be obsessed with seeing if other elephants do this now. If it had just been one, I might have thought it might have been a, I don't know, injury or something like that. But two elephants have done the same thing in the same place now. Bundu, the Ellis have climbed into that well trying to get all 4 feet in. I have no doubt, Bundu. I can't imagine that was probably quite entertaining to watch. Now, the other leg. See now, swap legs. Are you going to go in there, elephant? There's some brilliant thoughts and suggestions here, everyone. Please keep sending them through. Jessica's saying it's quite a common behaviour here. I've seen it a couple of times. Then there's a reason for it. If it's different animals doing it, there's a reason. A behavioural reason as opposed to a individual reason. I can only think it's something to do with comfort or body posture. Mr. Elemental, brilliant, that's a great name. Because it looks cool. Possibly that sort of reclining motion. I'm going to do some more research on this because I need to revise the actual placement and structure of internal organs of an elephant. I suppose, like, see, again. But it's not just while they're actually drinking. Well, you're not even drinking at all there, you're just dropping it all. I just want to check how the internal organs of an elephant actually sit inside them. It must be nice. You know, they have got so much weight on those legs. Maybe it's just, it is like us resting something, a horse resting a back hoof sometimes. It's not a position they often are able to take. He's resting his back foot now. Well, that's throwing my theory out the window. Agnes Gringo, how long do they hang out there? There's often elephants here at Elephant Pan. Depending on who else wants to come and drink, who's sharing, who's there. They will often see they'll stay, they'll have a drink, and then like this one on the left has done, they'll move off into the shade. So maybe an individual will stay as long as he can until someone else comes and it's their turn. Jive bunny, almost like a balance assist. The fact that this one closest to us also just rested his back foot is and that's not going to assist him with drinking. I think it's probably just comfortable, if I had to guess now. The fact that he's also done it with that back foot. I think it's a chilling comfort thing. I've never seen that before though, and this is what I enjoy. You know, trying to interpret behaviours. Are we ever going to know what animals are actually thinking? Probably not, but is it really, really fun trying to interpret behaviours to work it out? Absolutely. This is where I find my joy now, is just being able to watch. And animals can tell us so much. They don't use words, but if we learn to understand their bodies, their sounds, their behaviours, they can definitely communicate with us. Sounds like some starlings quite close to that mic there. Picasso. Hi, Kelly. Hello, Picasso. The savannah elephant has 4 nails front and 3. But what about the Dussie? I was actually looking at that yesterday. I think they have got quite a similar foot structure, those Dussies. Their dental structure is also similar. So where sometimes people say they're really closely related, I wouldn't say they're sort of closely related. They may have come from they came from a common ancestor something like 60 million years ago. But I do think you're right. I think they do have a similar foot structure. Dussies have pads. Elephants have a single pad, but they have those toenails. So you're right, Picasso. I think they are similar. Look at these two guys going for a splash in air. Pubby, do elephants talk through their trunk sounds? Absolutely. 100%. They don't just talk through trunk sounds either. They talk through trunk movements, trunk positionings, trunk actions. They communicate through their trunk and indeed all parts of their body. They use their body language to communicate beautifully with one another. Ellie, you're saying elephants are the best entertainers without even knowing it. I also really enjoy watching elephants. The other one of my favourite animals to watch is primates, especially baboons. I really enjoy watching baboons because there's normally something going on. Some of the animals I don't find them to be quite as expressive or indeed as easy to interpret. I think it's because I can relate so closely to baboons. It's like looking in a slightly furry, wild mirror. What? If I'm watching a baboon lays around with its elbows on its knees, I feel like I can maybe interpret what they're feeling, how I would feel if I was sat in a position like that, observing the world go by. I was watching going back to your question, Pubby, do elephants talk through their trunk sounds? I watched Brilliant. I've actually got one episode of it left, and I will happily say it's David Attenborough's series on sound. Highly recommended if anyone's interested. Old David Attenborough. It's one of the reasons I think I've ended up doing what I'm doing is David Attenborough. Apparently I used to watch him as a very small child. I didn't do cartoons or anything, but I would sit transfixed for hours in front of David Attenborough. So if on the off chance you're listening, David Attenborough, you are saluted. And I was watching his quite recent series on sound, and it was saying how elephants were able to sense, they're able to hear low frequencies of a storm over 100 kilometres away. And they started rapidly moving towards the storm. So elephants are able to communicate and hear, in inverted commas, through lots of different methods. Marco Casas, yes, I think we relate with their actions too. Those baboons, they're superhuman-like, I think. And I think the more time you spend watching, I actually and some of it's quite nuanced. I was working with a puppy a little while ago, and I actually slowed a video down to ridiculously slow. And animals pick up so much that we can't see unless we're either very in tune to it or slow it down hugely. Tiny, ear movements or tail movements or a slight shift in the muscles across the shoulder. So if an animal doesn't necessarily, run away from something, if you were to take a video of that and then slow it right down and check the point just before they ran away, you would probably be able to see tension through their back, through their neck, through their head. Ears might move a little bit, a mouth might tighten or change shape a little bit. A lot of it is imperceptible to humans. And these elephants, it would be interesting to watch back in slow motion some of these activities that we're seeing here, even these scratchings, and see if everything was slowed down and zoomed in, if we could predict when that elephant was going to move and which direction they were going to move in. And animals of the, especially of the same species, they pick up on these things. If you think in humans, if you're stood having a conversation with someone, if you're in tune with human body language and subtle cues, you know if that person is not particularly interested in what you're saying. They don't have to be stood there yawning and rolling their eyes. You're able to tell if someone's not particularly interested in what you're saying. They don't have to roll their eyes and yawn or anything like that, but you can pick up tiny nuances in their body language. Maybe their shoulders might be slightly turned away, and this is how animals communicate. This is how they communicate with each other, and why we often don't see huge big fights over things. Everyone will know that, you know, what's been happening, what mood everyone is in, long before there's any sort of interaction. But this guy's wandering off over into the pan now, and there's still good water in this pan. Alrighty, I think let's leave these elephants for a little bit. We just had a question about a dussie. So I think let's scoot over and see if we can have a count of these dussies' toes or feet to see how they correlate with these elephants' nails. Down at Stony Point. Oh, okay. Let's look. Picasso, let's check your dussie. So to me, that looks like 4 fingers, toes, fingers, whatever you want to call them. 4 things. I can't quite see that back, but I'm sure I was looking at a dussie from behind yesterday, and I'm pretty sure they had 3. I'm just going through it and double checking in my tracking book here, because I haven't actually seen, I know the facts, but I haven't actually seen that many dussie tracks, because dussies are normally on rocks, and they're often quite high up on rocks, unless you've been, hello, they look angry. Unless you've been he looks disgruntled, doesn't he? That looks like a disgruntled dussie to me. 85. So unless you've been, and I know lots of people have, where dussies come down and they feed on plants and stuff in your garden where it's sandy, and you can really get a good look at those tracks. I personally haven't seen too many dussie tracks, and it does indeed look like, no, come back. That to me looks like there's 4 toes on the front and those 3 toes on the back. So whether or not you think this makes them like an elephant is up to interpretation. It's just a chance that they probably had a common ancestor many years ago. Joanne Mello and Jive Bunny, Yes, it's Stony Point, and it is indeed Dassy time. And Jessica's saying primates are such interesting animals. They're your special interest. Brilliant, Jessica. I think it's because we can relate to them. We can learn so much about ourselves from primates, I think. Spas. Good afternoon. Great to see the Dussies. How could we tell different species of Dussies tracks? I haven't got a clue. I have no idea. I actually spent quite a long time when I was in Malawi, trying to even work out what species of Dussie a Dussie was, because I think they had rock Dussies and greater spotted Dussies. I might be making that up, and I couldn't even identify the species of Dussie, so I wouldn't have a clue. If you showed me, and like I said, even if you showed me a Dussie track, I'd have to concentrate hard on identifying it as a Dussie, because I haven't seen many. And there's the only way you could do it possibly, Spas, is depending on where you are. If you're in an area, I don't even know how many species of Dussie there are across Africa, to be honest. But I spent ages looking at a Dussie when I was in Malawi, and I don't think I ever concluded anything. Luke, do Dussies pant when they're hot like cats? I'm going to say yes. Birds pant. Dogs pant. Cats pant. Elephants don't pant. Luke, I'm going to say they might. They might pant. I don't know. I've never seen a panting Dussie. If anyone has seen a panting Dussie, please feel free to send in your experience of a panting Dussie. I've never seen one pant, Luke, but I don't see why not. We have some Egyptian geese in here by the looks of it. Hello, goosies. I'm going to do some research on seaweed and kelp soon, because I don't know much about it. I did do some seaweed surveys many years ago, actually in the Inner Hebrides in Scotland, when I was doing my A-level biology, and that was a very long time ago. But we did some there's another Dussie sleeping there. We did some fascinating surveys on different types of seaweed and what was found where, but that was in the Inner Hebrides many years ago, so probably not particularly useful in this situation. Sleeping with one eye open, hey? I think I probably would as well if I was a little predated on furry mammal like this guy. Yellow spotted Dussie, that's the Dussie I was thinking of, that I thought maybe in, because there's tree Dussies, yellow spotted Dussies, southern tree Dussies. Don't know what that is. So yeah, sorry Spas, I would have no idea who. There we go, a lovely image of those three toes. They're funny looking things, aren't they? Very soft underneath. They're good for almost like Jive said, tickle that tummy. That does need a good tickle, that tummy, I agree. But it almost looks like, I don't know if anyone has ever run in what is supposed to be barefoot footwear. So very thin light soles, barefoot footwear. I have some that I must have bought 15 years ago. I have used them, but they really make my calves sore. But they were too expensive to get rid of, so I still own them. But they're almost very sticky, grippy soles, and it almost looks like this dusty. Look at that, it looks very cushioned, the underneath of those pads there. That's a lovely image of this Dussie. It's got a little nick out of his ear there. Could have been from fighting, maybe. See, this is what they did the other day. These Dussies like a little bit of personal space. I can relate to that. This is my rock. You're welcome to the rock, but I'm not in the mood to share. I'm just looking at different species of Dussie that even exist. Also some relationships between manatees and dugongs, these funny little things. But I tend to shy away from too many taxonomic discussions these days because there's so much new research appearing almost on a weekly basis. It's difficult to know what is right and what is wrong these days. I do know they're definitely very cute though. I know that much for sure. Okay, so conclusion, it would seem there is a rock Dussie, which is what these guys are. There's a yellow spotted hyrax, or Dussie, a southern tree hyrax, also occur in South Africa, and there is a western tree hyrax, which occurs in western and central Africa. So if you looked at this Dussie without doing any reading or any background information, I would find it quite difficult to place what family they did sit in. They've almost got like a squirrely rodent type nose, almost cattish ears. Not desperately different from a genet's type of face. I don't think I would put them in with elephants, dugong and manatees, put it that way. Let's have a little look and see how... Oh, the light's actually better today. I can see exactly the shape of that penguin now. I can almost see its eye as well, I think, through there today. I've been struggling to work out what's been going on in this nest site because of the light. But this is better today. I can clearly see that wing, flipper, wing. I think we'll keep a close eye on this penguin moving forward, but after having some discussions around primates, I think we may have some primates for you that may get the cuteness overload going. Good luck, penguin. That is cute here at Kruger Shalati at Skakusa. She was flat chilling on that step there. It was quite overcast. Skakusa is probably, if I drove in a straight line, maybe two hours further south from where I am, maybe 2.5 hours. It was quite cool this morning, but it looks like the sun's come out now, and that step does look like it's quite cool. And that little baby is out. I love watching this. I'm not even going to talk for a while. I just really enjoy watching this because I feel like I know what they're thinking. I'm not sure if I do, but just watch. Try and work out what you think is in their heads. Why are they doing what they're doing? I'm not entirely convinced that little one was ready to get up. Mum, where are you going? Let's see. That's a brilliant little climbing area for monkeys. And look at that. Look how cool that tree. That's a tree that's growing there. Maybe a jackalberry. Looking at the wavy margins of those leaves, but I could be wrong. My trees are a little bit rusty. But look how that tree is growing in that structure there. Nature will always prevail, hey? Beautiful. Nature will find a way. Jive Bunny Skakusa is near the lovely Lower Sabi route. It is. I spent a good few years around Skakusa. I was working in one of the lodges very close to on the Sabi River. And sometimes if we ever got a gap, we would treat ourselves and we would go through to Skakusa for a lunch. Definitely a place that's close to my heart. Jive Bunny, Skakusa, that area. And Ritz is saying better a vervet than a bobbillon. It depends on personal preference and situation, as I normally say very diplomatically. But I think these monkeys have continued on their daily activities. Let's go over to my favourite place, Tau. I'd love to have a look and see what's happening there. It's normally alive with activity. I must actually get to this Shalati train. I've never been there. I've never been to this particular location. I would love to go there and have a look. Okay, let's see what we've got going on here. Looks like a beautiful grey heron. talking for a long time yesterday about what animals or birds might be thinking. We'll probably never know. But the patience of watching these herons, especially these herons hunt, and also anything hunt for that matter. I've watched animals stalking, leopard stalking, lion stalking for a long time, but the patience of this heron, let's just watch how still this bird is. They often stand and watching for movement under the water, and often when they move, see, they move very slowly through the water. Some birds will purposely move, they'll stomp through the water to stir up little creatures that are living in the mud. But these herons walk very, very carefully. Nope, missed. I think here yesterday there was a black-headed heron in a tree, and then a grey heron directly underneath it in the water. So these herons sometimes they will spear prey, or sometimes they will grab with that super sharp beak. I suppose it would depend on the... Oh! Look, it caught it. Oh, see, on that occasion, that heron grabbed it in its beak, and they flip it round so it's head first and gone. I think we've had a fabulous view of this heron, how he makes a kill, and I've just had an update. I'm not sure who else is watching these cameras, but there might be something going on a little bit here at Vic Falls, so let's pop across. There might be some commotion. I'm not sure exactly how disturbing it is, but let's go across to Vic Falls, and we think a crocodile might have caught something. So let's... Wow, okay. This is all going on here. This is a hive of activity in one scene. We've got is that a yellow stork? A bit difficult to see. A stork there in the background doing some hunting. It looks like we've got a dead something in the water, and a massive elephant having a mud bath. All in one shot. Oh, and a blacksmith's lapwing. Wow. Let's just see what is going on here exactly. Right, so he's finished. That is a crocodile that has now exposed itself from the water, and he has definitely got something in the water there. Elephant photo bomb blocking everything. Is this... I think this elephant might have a little piece of his trunk missing. Yeah, this elephant has got some trunk missing. This is indeed a... Oh, joined by a wow, it's... This is actually really interesting. Look how big that marabou stork is compared to the other bird in this image. It's often difficult to gauge size until you have something else to go on. So this marabou stork is stood next to this yellow-billed stork. And that's mad. So this yellow-billed stork is 97 centimetres. Marabou stork 1.5 metres. That really gives you a good aspect of scale to these birds. Marabou storks are massive. Marabou storks are almost the same size as me. And there is a dead something in there. Ellie is delighted with the marabou stork. They are really cool birds. Look at all that. Oh. Elephant's upsetting everyone. Yeah, this is a... yeah, this elephant, unconcerned, unfazed, doesn't care. I'm gonna chase all of you. Go on, chase all the birds away, chase everyone. I'm an elephant, I can do. But that is a brilliant image of those two storks together. This elephant's like, no man, off you, go on, get out of it. My pan, unfazed that there's a crocodile in there with a impala kill. He's gonna go over there and drink some water because I'm an elephant and I can. But it does look like there's definitely a crocodile, and I believe it's an impala in there. I don't know if anyone has been watching this camera for days without a break, or just to find out how this impala got in here. My gut would say that crocodile looked a fairly decent size, despite the elephant not caring less that it was present. If anything else there we go, look at that crocodile's moving that impala now. If anything else had killed that impala, I would have thought it would have eaten it. I can't see something killing an impala then just going meh and leaving it, so my gut would say that the crocodile killed it, or the chances of things dying of natural causes, while not impossible here, do happen. But Ellie, it does indeed look like a dead impala in the water. I agree. Are we going to see a crocodile flip roll? Trying to grab onto something. There we go. One crocodile flip roll, technical term. Although that crocodile's not massive. That crocodile is not ginormous. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on how big you would think this crocodile is. I often find it very difficult to gauge, like I was surprised at the size differences between the storks. But if you want to send in your guesses as to how big this crocodile is, I don't know how I'm going to get you an answer because I don't know. But I would love to hear the size ranges that you think this crocodile is. But it doesn't look massive to me. Its head, it's sort of not, sort of the same width it looks like as the impala's stomach is wide. So how wide is an impala's stomach? I'm holding my, and it could be a young impala as well, remember? That crocodile's not massive, hey? I don't think this crocodile's big. Oh, nice jacana in the background. I don't think this crocodile is bigger than... definitely not bigger than 2 meters. I don't know. Don't think so. I'm not sure. It's so difficult to scale. My nose is pressed up against my screen here. So crocodiles will... yeah, I would love to hear your guesses at this crocodile size. Send your questions to wildearth.tv/questions or scan the QR code with guess the crocodile length. It's I find it very difficult to scale. Even when I see them in the bush. But yeah, join in, send your guesses through using X, #WildEarth. I don't know how I'm going to get you answers. I don't feel like this crocodile's bigger than 2 meters. I would love to be corrected otherwise. But if you look at the size of this, see that head looks a bit bigger now. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to know what happened here. Erica Oldnote, you didn't see the crocodile, the impala here last night. Okay, good information. Oh no, maybe it is a fair size. Drive Bunny, wonder if a hyena stashed it. I don't think a hyena would stash it. I think a hyena would eat it. That look, there's a hooded vulture there as well. All the birds are closing in on this crocodile. You're going to have to take that away, otherwise you're going to lose that. Yeah, Marco Casas. Yes, the impala is too big for the croc to sling about and rip apart. I was thinking the same thing. Excuse me, I just sneezed. Penelope Kenyon, you're with me from the size of the croc's head, about 2 meters. I thought about the same. See, look. Oh no, see, maybe it's a little bit bigger. This is a very cool sighting though. There's birds waiting on either side. Vultures and storks. See, and I think from what I remember, crocodiles will stash things. If they kill something, I believe, I don't know if science has changed since the last time I read it, they will sort of hook carcasses under the water or under rocks or whatever. See, if this gets too close to the side here, something else is gonna come, a hyena or something's gonna come and grab this. If it's not careful. That would be cool. Not for the crocodile, but it would be very cool to watch. And there's scavenging birds on either side of this. I don't know how this is going to pan out. And that crocodile's obviously keeping this carcass in shallow water, which I find a bit confusing as well. I mean, what do I know? But if I was a crocodile and I'd caught something, I'd disappear off out into the water with it. Because that looks quite shallow there. And of course, crocodiles have no problem with eating skanky decomposed flesh and carcasses. Neither do marabou storks, and neither do vultures. That it looks like a really long leg on that impala. Oh, excuse me. Ha! That marabou's chomping something in the background while he waits to see what develops. Let's see what's going to develop here. See, the leg of this impala looks pretty long to me. The meeting of storks. Spacio asking, would a marabou stork ever steal from another stork? Yes, absolutely. They're monster birds. Anything in nature will steal from anything if it can, I guess. But that is a brilliant image of those two storks together. And to be honest, I didn't actually realise how gigantic marabou storks are. They're literally nearly the same height as me. I mean, I'm not like tall. What is that marabou even eating there? I'm just trying to think back to when I have seen crocodiles taking big things. And can they? I think they probably can take things that outweigh them. But this crocodile is foolish, in my opinion. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But look how close to the edge. If I was a hyena or something, I would scoot in there and that would be gone. Is that even an impala? I'm not convinced that's an impala. Those legs look wrong for an impala's. Where's his little... I'm now going to have to check what impala's legs look like, believe it or not. Dark main lover, what is dead inside the waterhole? It looks like an impala. No, it was not. Well, I didn't see a live kill. Dark Main Lover. It seemed to be a consensus that it was an impala, but those legs just look ridiculously long to me. And I was looking for those little metatarsal glands on the back legs there. But it's got that white belly like an impala. I'm literally going to look at a picture of the impala to check its legs now. The lower legs look quite dark. Okay, Trixie Rose. Hi, things. You reckon this croc is 3.5 to 4 meters long, comparing its head to the length of the prey's legs? I don't know. That's why I'm asking for everyone to send in your thoughts. And Helga Brandt thinks that marabou is after that carcass. It's going to be absolutely fabulous if there is a little fracas between a marabou and a crocodile. I think I know who my money would be on. Wildlife Lady just joined. Was the impala already dead, or did the croc do it? Did the croc do it? We don't know. Join in. Come join in the mystery. We don't know at this point. I was given very reliable information that there was a crocodile with dead impala in the water. So here we are. I've been mostly stunned at the difference in size between marabou storks and yellow-billed storks. I still am. I can't think of what else that would be, though, with that white belly. I think it's got to be an impala, but the legs look bizarre. I suppose maybe we don't normally see the legs sticking upright, do we? And when it rolled it over there, the legs look really dark to me on whatever it is that's in this water. And what I was looking for was those metatarsal glands on the back, above the back hooves, on the back legs there, because that is the identifying feature of impalas, and I didn't see them. But we don't know. We don't know what happened here. The mystery continues. Oh, we've had a report back from the Zoomies Limbury. Buffalo herd went by, followed by lions yesterday evening. Impala may have gone in the waterhole to get away from the lions. Possibly. See, look, there's an impala behind. Look at those metatarsal glands. It's got the white on the stomach, but the legs are a different colour, in my opinion. So watch this. This is almost a little bit twisted, watching this crocodile eating impala with impalas in the background. But see how light those legs are on those. They are quite long though, aren't they? I'm still stunned. Look, that marabou is bigger than that impala. Okay, it's a little bit closer. The only thing, I think I could forgive the length of the legs, but they looked dark. But I don't know what else it would be apart from an impala. I think this crocodile is a bit foolish, having this impala here at the side of the water. I think he should take it away, and it's not impossible that this crocodile caught this impala himself. The impala might have drowned, could have run in there to get away from lions. Spas, you are agreeing that marabous seem huge compared to the size of yellow-billed storks. I agree. They are monster birds. I think I can hear European beaters in the background there, but I'm almost getting impatient now for this crocodile to decide what it's going to do with this impala. I can't see how either of these storks would claim that in any way. Erica, oh no, yeah, possibly. Maybe the legs are just muddy and wet. You could be right. Looking at that, those impalas in the background, they were definitely darker, but they were pretty long. And obviously they'd be very stiff. So maybe that's why they look so, but I can't think of what else it would be. Maybe that crocodile is keeping this impala in shallower water to get a bit more oomph, a bit more purchase, to do something about it. I'm trying to work out what this crocodile's plan is. I suppose it does often take a long time. I'm trying to think. I've watched crocodiles feeding on things before, and it can often be quite frantic. But I think that's when there's other crocodiles there, and it all gets a little bit heated. But I can only see one crocodile in this image, so this crocodile's in no hurry, I guess. Jess is asking, would it feed on it outside of the water? Not normally, Jess. Crocodiles are in their element in the water. If they were wandering around outside and found something good to eat, then they would feed outside the water. But I don't think they would intentionally take something out of the water to feed on it. Not that I've seen or heard. Anyway, Jess, never say never. Because crocodiles, they are incredibly powerful and very fast, and they're able to exert huge, powerful bursts of speed when they need to. But they're also quite known for patience, and they will wait for days at river crossings and did she get a bit there? It looks like he might have... Was he chewing something there? I think he might have opened it. Possible viewer discretion, I guess, if you want to see a crocodile chomping up a probable impala. See, now looking at this croc again, it does look possibly bigger than I thought it was. Yeah, this has got to be an impala. Look at that coat colour and that marking line. But this crocodile doesn't need to rush, unless a hyena or something else that is prepared to go in the water and drag that out, which a hyena would do very quickly and easily. Which is why I would have thought it would be better to take it off into a deeper part of that pan. It's almost making me twitch. I'm like, come on, make a decision. What are you going to do with it? Limbra, yeah. Yep, that's also possible. Limbury might be easier. Death roll in shallow water, a little bit more purchase, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Maybe this croc has had a big fight. Maybe he is having a bit of a rest, catching his breath. Dark Main Lover, I love how Kelly keeps us viewers in suspense about the croc. I don't know the answer. I'm not doing it on purpose, I promise you. But I don't know what's going to happen. Ellie, croc can't take pieces off. They bite and make a death roll to rip pieces off. Yep, they will. They're not sort of. They won't put their teeth sort of along the edge of it and putting a face like a lion. There we go. There we go. Beautiful demonstration. Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Crocodile. Right on cue for us. That roll, exactly as you said, Ellie. They can't bite pieces off. They will grab and roll, and that's exactly what this crocodile's doing here. Erica Oldno, don't they soften it in the water before eating it? It's not necessarily. Crocodiles are very capable of chomping unsoftened carcasses. There was a myth that they used to sort of put them underneath something and wait for carcasses to rot so they could feed on them. They might stash, but it's more a stashing because they're not ready to eat it rather than it has to break down before they can feed on it. Dark Main Lover. In my guiding career, what is the worst or saddest live kill I've ever witnessed in the bush? I have two that I was quite disturbed by. Kills are always disturbing. No one wants to see something get killed by something else, but it is nature, as we always say. The two things that I think have affected me the most was I once watched a male leopard kill and eat two leopard cubs. It had hold of the first one before I got there, and I pulled into the sighting, and it came. This male leopard came down a tree and he walked past my vehicle into some rocks, and it was a female leopard we knew. We were fairly sure she was dead in those rocks, and it's the closest I've ever come to intervening. He walked right past my door. If I'd opened that door or shouted or started the car or "Hey!" he probably would have run away, but we can't do that, and he went into these rocks, and we heard him kill a little leopard cub, and then he brought the cub out and ate it in front of us. We knew the mother of these cubs. I found that deeply distressing. Not nice to see at all. And those cubs were just getting to the point where they probably would have come out of their den as well. I think they were about 8 or 9 weeks. That was pretty sad. And Dark Main Lover, the other one that has stuck with me was fairly recently. Yeah, it's really disturbed me actually. I was in the Kruger. I was in the Kruger Park 6 months ago, not long ago. And most of us guides, we like to play spotting games in the Kruger to see who can try and spot the most far away thing or the most unusual thing. And we were playing the spotting game, and I said, "Stop." I said, "Stop." And I said, that looks like a kudu in a hole over there on the other side of the river. We were, I can't remember, possibly Oliphant's River, and we were on the other side of the river, and we stopped and rolled backwards, and it was indeed a big male kudu that had slid into sort of a crevice in the riverbank, and I found that really distressing. I was at the point I thought, well, I can't call the Kruger Rangers or anyone, no one's going to, and so it wasn't a kill, Dark Main Lover, but it was, I found that really upsetting, and I watched for maybe a minute, and I said I need to leave, because I didn't want, it was completely still, this animal wasn't kicking or anything, and I didn't want to see if it was still kicking, because I wouldn't have known how long it had been there. It was in a place whereby hyenas might have found it, but it was sort of on a riverbank, coming down, and it was sort of a steep incline, and sometimes sort of where river runs down, water runs down the edges of riverbanks, it creates crevices, and it was stuck in one of those. And I think those are the two two saddest, most impactful things I've seen. But no, that kudu was about 6 months ago, and I still think about it often. I didn't enjoy that at all. This crocodile has opened this impala now. There we go. The marabou stork is very excited about this, by the looks of it. And it wouldn't surprise me if this marabou did bundle in there now. Jive Bunny, that would break my heart. Yeah, they were both pretty traumatic. I've seen leopards kill duikers, and so my very first ever kill I ever saw, my cousin was actually on drive with me. She'd come out to visit, and I saw her in Madikwe. I saw a lioness kill a baby zebra, which was pretty sad. But it chased it, and it caught it, and it killed it, and it kicked for a minute, and that was the end of it. But yeah, these bizarre king, that's sad. Yeah, they were both quite upsetting. It is life, but I had to leave this kudu. If anything, that possibly even upset me more than the leopard cubs, because it was quick. It's sad, but it wasn't a prolonged thing, but deeply upsetting. And the worst thing about that kill actually was we went back to the same area. We closed the sighting because we were worried a female might be there, and she'd obviously be very distressed. So we closed the sighting for that morning. We said nope, no one else is to go to this area. And then we went back in the afternoon, and that male leopard was walking up the road that we'd seen him on, which gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. I'm like, ugh. And I never felt the same way about that male leopard again afterwards. Shovanakele, if you're listening, that was you. Don't like you. Never quite got over watching you do that to those little cubbies. So Shovanakele, consider yourself publicly outed. I don't even know if that leopard's still alive. But yeah, the kudu thing really affected me. How long had it been there? Was it dead? Was it not dead? Or its family missing it? I don't know. Yeah, that really weirded me out. But such is life. Well, this dead impala has indeed been opened. By the looks of it, this marabou stork is aware that I can hear an African grey hornbill calling in the background. This marabou stork is aware that this crocodile has been opened, but he's gone behind the reeds there a little bit. Dark Mane Lover, yeah, no problem. We see things. I don't know. It's not even so much the event. I think a lot of it, and this is quite personal, I think a lot of it depends on the situation, like how you're feeling in that moment. Sometimes the guests you've got with you. I think it would, as guides, me personally, I feed off my guests. I actually miss driving guests full time, which is why I'd still like to do it from time to time here and there. But me personally, I guiding is not. Everyone says, "Oh, I want to be a guide because of the nature." It's mostly people based. If you're guiding full time, like I was for 9 years, whatever it was, I feed off my guests, and it could be if I was in a sighting and I don't know a marabou stork at a baby tortoise or something, and if one of my guests was devastated, it would impact me as well. I think a lot of it depends on where you are in your life, or what your guests are doing, or how your guests are feeling, or events that have led up to it, or there's so many variables, and especially when we are out with guests, it's a very unique experience. I've got some close friends that one particularly close friend who I drove 10 years ago, and she's from England. We're now very, very close friends. It's a bonding experience that you experience out here in the bush. You see some stuff and things, and you have some moments, and you experience some special moments and some sad moments and some exciting moments and some funny moments. And that for me is what guiding's about. That the nature side of it is fabulous, but I think for me, and I know many other guides out there as well, guests play a huge part in that experience. And it's one of the things I enjoy about being able to do this. So while I haven't got 6 or 8 people sat behind me right now, you are all out there feeding in your questions, which I think it makes it much more exciting than if I was just sat here looking at some storks and a crocodile. I'm getting feedback from you guys. Dark Main Lover, yeah, I don't see why not. It was 5-6 years ago. It was the cubs of what was her name? I can't even remember her name. In the southern Siberian Sands, she was called Scotia female. It was her cubs, and the male was called Chauvinichelli. So 6 years ago, 7 years ago, long time ago. So no one. It was a private concession down the bottom there. But yeah, he was. She wasn't. She wasn't on any live cams or anything like that, this female. And there's also multiple female leopards around called the Scotia female, because a Scotia tree is a tree and lots of female leopards are called after that tree, so it's not a very specific one. Look how dark those legs are though. See, this crocodile is maybe, I know what's happened. Maybe this crocodile did indeed. Who said that? I can't remember who said that now. Whoever said maybe staying in shallow water to open it up, I think that's exactly what happened. I think this crocodile stayed in the shallows, used the shallower water as a bit of purchase to get a grip on that thing. And I think this impala's now opened and he's going to go off and do his impala eating business. I think that was very cool though. Huh. And he was gone. Okay. MC, should we go somewhere nice and fun and light and happy now after watching things getting eaten and ripped apart and talking about death? Haven't we got something like some baby things playing with something? We got a monkey playing with a stick or something cute, just to lift the mood a little bit. Let's see what else we've got somewhere. We're going to El Doño. What's it going to be? Yay! We've got a nice happy giraffe. This giraffe looks really, really happy and full of joy, and is very healthy and well, and no one's going to be sad anymore. I like the camera here because the mic's so good. You can hear those flies and stuff buzzing around. I wonder if this is my triangle giraffe, the only giraffe I've managed to identify so far. I think someone asked yesterday or the day before if giraffes communicate with their tails, and I said yes, but I actually went back and did some reading. Give me your thoughts on animal communication. Send any questions in about animal body language to wildearth.tv/questions. Join the conversation using X with the hashtag Wild Earth or scan the QR code. That is send through what bird that is via WhatsApp on +2778 630 2336. I don't know what bird that is. If it was in South Africa, I'd say it might be a southern white crown. Nope. Lesser grey shrike? I don't know Kenya birds. Anyone that knows Kenya birds, jump in. Is it a... I can't even see its tail. It's got black face, black back, white front. I don't know what that is. Oh no, it's gone. Never mind. We're never going to know now. Ellie, a kind of bee eater? I didn't think so. Bee eaters are normally quite colourful. But good guess. Your guess is indeed as good as mine. If it had been in South Africa, I would have said possibly a southern white crown shrike or lesser grey shrike. Southern white. These are oxpeckers, definitely. There we go. It's hard enough trying to bird when you've got birds in front of you and binoculars, let alone trying to do it through a camera. But this is definitely an oxpecker on this giraffe. Darkman lover. Sometimes I think that giraffes can communicate through eyes and movements of the ears and possible low humming. 100%. And Mindy Tillibau. Hi Millie, how are you doing? Sometimes it is indeed hard to get perspective on these cameras. Right? When you stood next to a giraffe at our zoo, his legs were longer than me. And you're 5'3", I'm 5'4.5". And yeah, that marabou stork was not far off the same size as me. I think I'm 163 centimetres, and my birding information says that marabou stork was 152 centimetres. So it's very difficult to get perspective. One of the things I struggle with is, especially with birding, and some of the brown eagles are bigger than other brown eagles or smaller than other brown eagles, and someone will say, no, it's too small to be a whatever. Well, it's 60 metres away. I can't even tell how big it is. And then on the very cool, very rare occasion that something lands next to something else, you go, oh yeah, that's much smaller. So birding in front of birds with binoculars is hard enough. And I can see someone has said spuss looks like a white-crowned shrike to me. I was thinking white-crowned shrike, southern white-crowned shrike. One of those, but there's a few of those shrikes that have got greys and blacks and whites on. Who else could it have been? That's a grey shrike. Southern white-crowned shrike. White-tailed shrike. Where do they live? Penelope Kenyon. It was a white-headed buffalo weaver. Penelope Kenyon, I have never heard of a white-headed buffalo weaver in my entire life. So thank you very much. I'm going to actually have a look at one. I don't think it's even going to be on my app, because my app is only Southern Africa. But when I finish this afternoon, Penelope, I'm going to go and get my sub-Saharan African bird book, which is the size of an encyclopedia, and I'm going to look up a white-headed buffalo weaver. Thank you very much. See, and isn't it, I can't bring myself to do it. If I don't know something, I'm just going to say I haven't got a clue, because what happens is otherwise I mean, it's impossible to make things up now anyway. Even on Drive, everyone's got Google. If I say, oh, this animal's pregnant for 11 months, then someone behind me is going to Google it and they're going to say, oh no, actually it's pregnant for 11 and a half months. So the further along I go, the less committal I am about things. And also we see things, we read stuff in books. We say that, oh no, this doesn't eat this. I tell you what I saw the other day. I have it's technically a security camera, but I use it like a wildlife camera, and I've got a little bird bath in my garden with a little camera on it. And I did not peel a couple of mangoes in time, and they went all disgusting. So we put a couple out for the birds, and I saw a genet take a bite out of a manky mango. It didn't stay there for long, but I saw it grab it. It didn't sort of feed on a whole mango, and then I looked it up. I never would have thought a genet would even look at fruit, but they do. I learned. So it just goes to show animals don't read books. These are yellow-billed oxpeckers, I think. Definitely oxpeckers, and you can see them combing through. I think I once read somewhere that yellow-billed oxpeckers comb like this. They sort of go side to side. They comb. No, yellow-billed? These do look like yellow-billed oxpeckers. I can't see. Has anyone got a better picture on their screen that can confirm these are yellow-billed oxpeckers for me? I'm going to be due a new computer very soon because my image on here is terrible. RC Netherlands also shouting that bird at Aldonia was a white-headed buffalo weaver. Brilliant. I'm so going to look this up. I can't tell if these are red-billed or yellow-billed oxpeckers. Dark Main Lover, why are okapis? Aren't okapis cool? I would love to see an okapi. I once said, right, I want to go to, I think they're in Congo, the okapis, to find an okapi, but then I did a bit more research and decided maybe it wasn't that was a big trip just to find an okapi, but they're very, very cool. The cousin of the giraffe, is it based on looks or any other factors? It's all DNA based. Dark Main Lover, it's all genetics, DNA, structure, base pair, science, matching of things. It's far more detailed these days than just what something looks like. And as I often say, the science is rapidly increasing, and we're understanding things more and more. And it can be based on so many things now, but it's right down into molecules and DNA structures now. Penelope Kenyon, thank you very much. Red-billed oxpeckers. I thought I saw some yellow on there. Penelope, if you could just stay here every day that I'm here and help me with my birding, that would be really useful. Red-billed oxpeckers. What I was going to say was, I thought I once read somewhere that one oxpecker combed and the other oxpecker pecked, but I can't remember where I read that. Julian Thomas also says looks red-billed to me. Everyone has obviously got a better laptop screen than me. I think I definitely have a new laptop coming. I actually my sound was so bad the other day that I couldn't even do anything here because the microphone on my laptop was that bad. So yes, if you've all said these are red-billed oxpeckers and they are combing sideways, I'd be very interested to hear if anyone has. I've watched, but I can't remember what I established. Whether or not it is true that the reds comb and the yellows peck. I can't remember where I saw that once. Lovely view of this lovely big male giraffe though. He's got that big rectangle on his cheek, that dark patch. It almost looks like there's a white circle in it. Huh, okay, according to the chart, no yellow-billed there. Download the Kenyan bird chart. I've actually got a sub-Saharan Africa bird book in the other room. It's massive, and I don't normally use it. I think I took it to Rwanda with me, and I think I also took it to Malawi, but it doesn't normally come out because it's so. Thank you very much, Sandra Massey. Yes, so it seems everyone with better computers than me are confirming that they are red-billed. The app I've got on my phone is only Southern Africa, but I'll grab out that sub-Saharan African bird book. I think I very rarely use it because it's just so massive. It takes me ages to find anything in there, and a lot of. Okay, I'm a bit rusty, but I'm not bad with South African, Southern African birds, but Kenya. I'm hopeless. Ellie, you're also confused by lighting and IDing red and yellow-billed hornbills. It can be tricky, and again, what's that? It's like a blob of foam. If I had to guess quickly, I'd say that's a floating foam nest, frog nest. But Ellie as well. The longer I'm doing this, I'm not bad with South African birds and stuff, but we don't know everything, and I have no intentions of pretending to know everything or making things up, or if I don't know, I'm just going to say I don't know. And especially on cat, even in what's that? Are these zoomies just? Oh, it's an impala. Are these zoomies just trying to? Oh, what's that? It's like a. That looks like a gar. It's got the similar head structure of what looks like what I know as a blue-headed tree agama in this area, Blauwkop koppelmander. I think this is an agama, but it could be a lizard. I don't know. I've never been to Kenya. Erica Oldner is saying, yeah, Ellie, you said confusing the lighting red and yellow hornbills. The light can be different, the behaviour can be different. We get things wrong. I get things wrong all the time. And Erica Oldner says one combs and the other pecks. One of the other guys said so. I want to check that further. That's going to be my homework for today, because I've read it somewhere and someone else has said it. But I've started to get to the point now where just because someone else has said something and I think I've read something, I often use a lot of scientific articles now. I'm trusting Google and AI stuff less and less these days. So I try and go through scientific papers to find out things like this. So I'm going to find that out a bit more. I'd like to see them do it. Minty said, I think I remember being told by a guy the yellow-billed peck and the red-billed eat like they're eating an ear of corn. Yes, that's what I have heard. So that's two guides and me reading it somewhere. But I still like to double check my facts. There's so many things, there's various things that move through our industry and our knowledge base, and you just say things. One of these, I don't know what this is. This looks like some sort of Kenyan agama, or lizard. I can't give you any more than that. I can go. I don't even think I have a Kenyan lizard agama reference book. So definitely a Kenyan reptile. Sorry, that's not Not a very sound idea, is it? But he looks pretty happy. I know he looks quite happy, and it looks like he's got lots to eat there because there's lots of flies buzzing around. So that much I do know. Julian Thomas, you've seen a yellow-billed oxpecker on one of the Africams at Mapala recently, on a giraffe too, so they are in the general area. Okay, so maybe they are in that area. I have no idea. I'm giving you more questions than answers today, aren't I? But that's all right. Knowledge is power. Learning is fun. But I am going to check that pecking, combing fact out properly. I think that there's one thing, and this is probably going to cause a hoo-ha. Actually, if anyone's listening, you might be able to help. We were taught in training that bateleur, that bird who does the wing tilt things, bateleur is French for tightrope walker, and that's where it got its name from. I was taught that guiding school many years ago, or I can't even remember. And lots of people say that. And one day I thought, I'm going to check this out a little bit more, because you say a bateleur, tightrope walker, tilting wings, etc., etc. And I had French guests, and I said, "What does bateleur mean?" And they went, "What?" I said, What do you call someone that walks on a tightrope? And they said a completely different word. I was like, so not bateleur. They said, we don't really know that word. And I thought, So I turned it into a little bit of a project of trying to find out exactly what bateleur meant. And the closest I got was there was some of my French guests, they said it was very old, almost like Old English would be, so medieval French language. Possibly there may have been a word that was similar to meaning court jester, but the straight fact that bateleur means tightrope walker in French is incorrect. So they're the sort of things that I try and research more now. If we have anyone listening that can help me with that, I'm all ears. But it was at that point I stopped merrily telling guests that bateleur means this bird, see how it tips its wings, this is how it's got its name, which is tightrope walker in French, because it's incorrect. And unfortunately, the more we learn, the more questions we end up with. But what a joy. Jive Bunny, that's what makes the show so great. I'm glad you think it's so great. The questions raise our awareness. 100%. And if everyone said, if everyone asked questions and I just answered them all, that's not very interesting, really, is it? Because then it would be more like a question and answer than an investigation into nature. I find it interesting as well how quickly this must be one of this year's youngsters, this impala in front of us. And how much is it one of this year's? I've seen some of this year's babies, and the males already have their little horns starting to come through. Oh, I tell you something else I was reading the other day. Hold on, I'm just trying to find something out. Let's see what's happened here. I was reading about antlers the other day, antlers and horns. That's what I was trying to check. Apparently this crocodile is back in view again. So I'd love to see what's happening with this crocodile. Let's see, apparently he's feeding again. Viewer discretion, potentially a crocodile ripping up a almost definitely dead impala. Well, it's definitely dead, and I'm almost completely convinced it's an impala. But let's go back over and have a look, see what's happening at our potential feeding frenzy of our crocodile. and then back in full view. I wonder if marabou stork's got a managed to get a bite yet. But I've forgotten the numbers now. I was reading about, it was during this Sound in Nature, this series I was watching the other night, and I was reading about elk antlers. Has anyone ever seen an elk? Oh my god, they're huge. And look at this, see, this crocodile has easily opened this impala now and is having an absolute feast. Elk antlers, I have to concentrate really hard when I call them antlers because I spent so many years stopping people from calling antelope horns antlers, and I have to concentrate when it actually is antlers now. They grow something like 2 centimetres a day or something ridiculous through the rutting season, and then I started investigating how they actually grow and at what point is it bone or how do they grow, what actually is it. Insane though that the span of an elk's or a moose's, it's called the palm part of their antlers, is like 2 meters or something ridiculous. Anyway, there's no moose or elk or antlers in this image, but there is a yellow-billed stork and a somewhere between 2 and 4 meter crocodile feeding on almost definitely an impala. What's that stork doing? What's he doing in the background there? It also looks like he's hunting, hey? I would love to know how this crocodile got this impala. Julian Thomas, Google Translate translates Bateleur as juggernaut. Yeah, as the Blizzard King, Google says the name likely refers to the eagle's unique flight style, which involves rocking its wings from side to side, resembling a tightrope walker balancing. Yes, that is what we've always been taught in, that's what we always learn, and that's what I told guests for many years. However, Google Translate translates the word Bateleur as juggernaut, as Julian Thomas says. I don't know. I can't work out where the word Bateleur incorporates anything to do with a tightrope walker, because we're always told Bateleur means tightrope walker in French. Penelope Kenyon, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Please come back. I need you for your Kenyan birding. Thank you for being here for me, Wildlife Lady. Thank you for a fun live at the Waterhole as always, Kelly. Thank you also to FC and the Zoomies. Thank you for joining us, Wildlife Lady, and absolutely, I agree. Thank you, FC and all Zoomies. Erica Oldno, thanks Kelly for today. Enjoyed your Hibbert. It's an absolute pleasure. Like I said, what I do has always been, while I adore so nature and the outdoors and the animals, the longer I'm around, the more I'm asking, but why, as opposed to but what. Pondering, considering, and it's that grey heron's like, what's that going on over there? And having others to ponder with is always so much more fun than pondering on your own. I mean, if I didn't have these questions and comments and thoughts from things coming through, how different would it be than just sort of narrating this to myself? It's not as much fun. Richard B, I'm just seeing if I did get your comment about the oxpeckers. I may have missed it. I apologise if I did miss it, Richard B. Was it you that confirmed that they are sometimes seen in the area? Apologies if I missed it, Richard B. There is a very good chance that I did. But I'm definitely going to be doing a bit more research on the pecking or combing of oxpeckers. But yeah, it makes it so much more fun and enjoyable for me, being able to interact with you all via your questions. Oh, okay, Richard B. According to Robert's Birds of Southern Africa, yellow-billed oxpeckers plucks prey with bill, and red-billed uses scissor-like bill actions. Brilliant. This is great, Richard B. Robert's Birds, Southern Africa. I'm all over it. This is a big crocodile, actually. Maybe I'll up my guess on 2 meters. This heron is not as perturbed as I would be, actually, by this commotion that's going on here. But I tell you what, if this crocodile has opened this almost definitely impala and is now ripping chunks of meat off it via rolling it, I wonder if bits of that meat wouldn't attract little fishes in the water. And if there's little fishes in the water, then that is going to be lunchtime for this heron. Blizzard King, thanks Kelly, it's an absolute pleasure, Blizzard King, and I agree. Thank you very much, Wild Earth FC, and all the Zoomies out there. I really do appreciate you all joining us this afternoon. Thank you for joining in. Enjoy watching this crocodile finish off this impala, and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the cameras. We look forward to seeing you and hearing from you again very soon. And we'll see you sometime soon.